Hello.
Well, we got caught, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Hey, you guys, welcome to At the Car Wash. It's Renee.
Hello.
The Wonder Queen woman of the car wash world. You know, superheroes come in all sizes. This is, I have to just shorten down for this one. So we're at Cobra Car Wash, and this is At the Car Wash. And you guys know we do this a couple of times a month because they just like to get people's stories out. And today we've got a really great story for you. I saw this guy online talking, and I thought, you know what? He'd make a great At the Car Wash. But right now we want to tell you there is a storm coming in.
Bad storm.
So you still have time right now.
Come get your car washed. Yeah.
Because
the rain
what
time.
happens if you don't?
If you don't, it's gonna look terrible. It's
And you
gonna
have a
be
coat.
dirty.
You guys have a coating you put on at the end.
We do. You can get the
That-
$10 premium wash.
And that keeps it, according to sources that we have that are very near and dear to us right now. That helps keep the dirt off your car when it's
Absolutely.
raining.
It puts a nice finish on there.
You know, my son did. He got me this Patagonia vest, and it's hotter than heck. He said it's Stevie. So anyway, these guys sponsor our show, so you guys can come to Cobra Car Wash. Let them know what we're doing, and when you need your car wash, be sure that this is the place that you come. Right, Renee?
Yeah, absolutely.
All
Yes,
right.
come see us.
Okay, so you guys, we got somebody kind of special to talk with today. So I'm going to take you out here, and he's going to drive my truck. So this is Johnny. So I'm going to have you get in there, and we're going to talk for a second. So Johnny was writing on Facebook the other day, and we were having a conversation, and I thought, you know, I like this guy because he's real, and he's talking about real stuff. So you're a drug addict.
Yes, sir.
And what does that, how long were you were selling drugs in this community?
Yeah, absolutely. I was making a lot of terrible choices in this community. I was addicted to drugs IV heroin. I was actually using needles. The worst addiction that I could ever imagine for about 8 years, maybe a little bit over. For a portion of that, I was selling drugs. Really messing up this community pretty bad. And I have a lot of regret for the things that I had done, so I'm trying to do what I can to pay back now and help out the community the best I can.
So, and this is pretty new for you. How many days, as of today, how many days are you clean?
117 days today.
And to anybody out there who's an addict, they understand how important that is.
Absolutely.
What does that mean to you?
You know, as far as the getting clean portion, what it means to me, it's changed my entire life. I went from being down and out, especially once the police caught me and they took everything that I had because it was all illicit funds that I got it with. I thought I had nothing. I had nothing left to live for. I just wanted to die. I was struggling just to be able to stay well using heroin. It was an absolute struggle.
Did you just feel like you were a piece of shit?
Quite frankly, I did. I felt that way a lot.
Like, and that you had no value?
Absolutely. I like I said, I've always told people, you know, the one thing that nobody can take from you is your honesty and integrity. And I was lying. I knew a lot of people that were stealing, and I would help them sell the things that they stole. I did a lot of terrible stuff, and I'm just absolutely ashamed of what I was doing.
Johnny, the thing that people don't understand is when you get in that place, it's easy for people on the outside to say, boy, you're making bad choices.
Absolutely.
But you're at a place where and I don't want to say you may not even have the ability to make a good choice when you're so, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I don't want to make this like, you know, people can't change, but I mean, okay, so now here's the thing I want you guys to hear. This guy died I mean, dead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, so tell him.
Yeah, so the whole thing that finally got me clean, because anybody who knows me knows I don't quit anything, quite frankly, and I couldn't quit. I didn't think I could quit, at least, and I finally ended up dying. And
How did you die? What do you mean?
September 22nd.
This year?
Yep, last year.
Last year.
And a lot of people remember that really bad weekend where they were talking about all the overdoses. Myself, my cousin, and my wife were 3 of those. And I died. They had to Narcan me several times and CPR to get me back. And it was a crazy experience. When I was where I was, I realized that I do have a higher power. And I think my faith in a higher power is what finally gave me the ability to get off of the drugs, because I didn't believe that there was anything greater than myself. And once I finally realized that, I could put my faith in something.
Did that give you permission to be human?
Absolutely.
So, but let's go back to the dead thing.
Yeah.
So you're dead, and you're having visions of all the bad choices that you make are flooding you.
Yeah, like we were discussing a little bit earlier, that was the big thing to me is I had at first when I died, I was really, really grateful that I was dead because, like you mentioned, I felt that I was absolutely worthless. I didn't.
So you were relieved to be gone.
100%, because I thought,
Wow.
I'm finally free of addiction. I couldn't quit. This is the end, and I knew that I could be okay where I was, and I didn't have to be an addict anymore. I didn't have to struggle to find drugs or find ways to get drugs.
So you die of an overdose, and you're just glad to be dead.
100%.
That is so. I think that's so sad.
Yeah.
I mean that you know what I mean?
I never thought that I would be grateful to have the end of my life, but I was, because the struggle was finally over.
So that gave you a beginning.
Absolutely, it gave me an opportunity to start over. And as you mentioned, I had in this experience that I had, I reflected on every bad choice that I made. And the crazy thing is, it wasn't things I was consciously aware of. I didn't remember some of these things, and like what I told you about with my children, anything that I did that hurt my kids in the process, it just broke my heart. And I had a simple memory that I went over with you. And my kids came in one morning and asked me if I'd make breakfast with them, and I had to go meet up with my dealer because I knew that I would be sick if I didn't meet up with him before he left town. So I told him, you know what, have a Pop-Tart for breakfast. Maybe we'll make lunch together. Just go watch a movie with your stepmom. And so I could see that they were disappointed, but by the time I got in the car, I realized that I wasn't going to have them after lunchtime. We weren't going to have time to do these things that I promised them. And instead of making the choice to go back upstairs and to spend a good few hours with my kids, I went out to get drugs anyways. And knowing that I made that choice, that in my kids' mind, they understood that I was putting something above them. And that, to me, absolutely broke my heart. I just never wanted them to feel that way again.
So you die. How long are you out? How long are you gone?
It was about three-ish minutes, right around there, 3 to 4.
So you come back and then you go turn yourself in.
Yeah, like I said, I was selling drugs in this community, and in 2016, in March, I actually got arrested. It was a pretty big deal. There was a lot of police officers, a lot of guns, and
Were you on the news?
no, I actually dodged that somehow. They missed one on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, good. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's not a really great place to be. I did that for a long time. It's not really that great.
I don't want to be on
No.
this.
So but then you hid, right?
Yeah, well, we went and I did what I was supposed to do. I did all my court appearances, and since it was my first offense, they did give me a downward departure suspended sentence. And I was looking at about 4 years in prison. And I was doing well for a while. I got myself into treatment. I went to Buckley Detox, which Willamette Family is a great program here in town. They really help out with people getting those first couple of steps, and then they help find your footing after that. So that was what I did, is I went to Buckley. I got everything taken care of as far as that goes. And then once I got through the basic portion and I was out on my own a little bit, I had an injury. I had a hernia and kidney stones the same week, and they gave me opiates.
Wow.
And it kind of led me back into getting used to taking stuff again.
Right.
And then I ended up...
Because a drug is a drug is a drug to a drug addict.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, is if we could keep it in our mind that we just need to follow the prescription as it's prescribed, that's one thing.
But you can't.
But you can't. When you have a whole bottle and you say, hey, I could take all these right now and feel way better, you do it.
And see, I think that's part of the problem. I have a friend who's a meth addict, and so here you know we think, oh, okay, you're off. Why do you get back on? Well, because when life gets real shitty, like it does for all of us, an addict knows that one pill and I feel better. Now, I know that that's going to drag me off into this, but when you get to that point, we all have coping mechanisms, and I think it's kind of unfair of the rest of us who are not drug addicts, but addicts to other things, you know, whether it's sex or, you know, food, but we go indulge in something to make us feel better, and it's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Only yours is more dangerous. Well, maybe not more dangerous. I don't know.
You know, and that understanding, like you said, it broke my heart. One of the things with my kids, my son, and I usually, sorry if I end up crying, but it makes me a little emotional talking about my kids. My son, he sat down with my mom one day, and first of all, I love you, Cameron and Aiden. I'm really sorry for what I did. But my son told my mom, I know Daddy loves me, but I really love ice cream. And if I could just quit eating ice cream to see my daddy again, I would never eat ice cream again.
Wow.
And all I wanted to do was be able to scoop my son and daughter up and just say, drugs aren't ice cream, sweetheart. You know, I can't quit. I want to quit. I wish I could show you that.
All right.
But it's not that easy. You need to get help. Nobody can save you, but people can give you the tools to save yourself. Like they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. It's the same concept.
So, can you show me, you guys? I want you to see how real this is. So, Johnny is actually got an ankle bracelet. So he is on parole.
I'm on probation presently, and I'm currently on house arrest because when I turned myself in, they ended up putting me on. I got 6 months in jail, and I served most of my time, but they did end up releasing me on a house arrest program because I was doing well in jail. My disabled mother needed some help. So I'm currently living with her to help her out through her
So
struggle.
get your little form out. So in order to do this, he had to go to his parole officer and get special permission. So he has, don't lose that. God, I'm gonna be in so much trouble. He has it.
Yeah, it's in my back pocket.
Okay,
I
so
checked before he came.
So he has to keep this pink piece of paper with. This is reality, folks. So it says on here, I'm with Rick Dancer at this certain time where he's going to be on this show. So that's how much he's on here. And what I love about you, Johnny, I just met him today, but I've been reading his stuff online, and that's when I thought I'd call him and say, I really like your heart, and I want you to come on here because I think there's a lot of people out there who are struggling with all kinds of addictions. And I think the more we hear that you can do this, and you have a Facebook page.
I do.
And kind of talk to people about what you do with that.
Part of the deal that I made when I came back, I really, really wanted to make amends for the things that I had done. And so I started a Facebook page 4 days after my overdose. It's called Johnny's Journey, The Road to Recovery, or my name's Johnny Long. You can always look me up on Facebook as well, and I can add you to the group if you have any interest. But it's a great group. We just want to support one another. You know, people can come out on the group and just say, hey, you know what, I messed up today. I messed up last night. And it's not people judging you saying, oh, well, you relapsed. You need to go back to treatment. You need to do this. You need to do that. People understand that we make mistakes. They'll tell you, hey, I'm proud of you for being honest today. Tomorrow's a better day. Let's move forward. And they understand that all you need is support. It's not a matter of you wanting to do it. It's not a matter of quitting. You don't need to be punished because a bad choice is a bad choice. It's not a negative intent. It's somebody who feels like they need to medicate themselves or fix themselves in some way. And that's what we're trying to do, is spread the word that people can support each other and we can make sure that we make good choices. I know I had a really bad day the other day, and my mom told me it's probably a good idea that you go to a meeting. And I wasn't really supportive of the idea because I don't like to go to meetings. I would rather help others if I can.
Right.
And so she blasted me on my own group. Thanks, Mom. And so
That's
she
a mom.
Yep, she posted on there. She's like, you know, when you try to talk to your son about going to a meeting and all he says, oh, geez, Mom, and walks away, doesn't really give you a whole lot of faith in their recovery. And people immediately started jumping on the group. Hey, Johnny, you show us support. Let me show you support. I'll give you a ride to a meeting. Let's go today. Let's go tomorrow.
You guys, we're at Coburg Car Wash, and what I want you to understand is the only reason we can do this is because Coburg Car Wash finances this show. So they believe, Rick, you just go find people to bring on here because we believe in the community. And so when you are going to get a car wash, please pay homage to these people. Do your business here because you got to think in your head, what do I like and why do I like this kind of thing? And then support those people because that's super important. Start my truck, my man. We're going to go wash my truck.
You still got your keys?
Yeah, but they're in my pocket. You don't need them. All you got to do is put that, push that. Okay? And then the rest you got. So he has to drive because I got to hold the camera. So I'm trusting him with my new truck. So Johnny, what do you want people to know? I like who you are. I like the way you present yourself.
And I appreciate that. I'm pretty proud of who I am today.
Yeah. And I know you've been really, what I will just talk really honestly with you. I've been really touched by how excited you are to do this. And he's been putting it on Facebook and telling his friends and talking about it. See, and I think that's the thing we can all do for one another. So now Coburg Car Wash now becomes part of Johnny's recovery because they're paying for this to happen. I become part of his recovery because I'm giving him a voice, which is my whole thing in life. This is where this kind of stuff is super important. Don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, that's the biggest thing. Two things that are huge to me is one, it's we have to be able to support one another, and we have to understand that, you know, people need support and they're here to support. They
Now
really
put it
care.
in neutral. Right there we go. Okay.
And secondly, and it's the same thing I told the judge when I was going through because they did a revocation hearing where they were going to take my probation and put me in prison when I turned myself in. And I told them, quite frankly, I wish that I could say that I wish I never did these things, but I'm really, in a crazy way, I'm glad that I did, because you can't erase the mistakes of your past without erasing the wisdom of your present. Right. And I'm really, really proud of who I am today.
Right.
I know that I'm making good choices. I know that I'm truly helping people. And if all I had to do is die for a few minutes to understand I had that ability, so be it. The only thing that I'm sorry for is I wish that I never hurt other people in the process.
Right.
Going on. And once I finally got my head clear and I was finally able to, to do the right things, I finally understood that, hey, I can survive without this. There's other coping mechanisms. And what I finally realized, and it's one thing a lot of addicts have a hard time understanding and really processing, is I look at our life like an investment. If I could, instead of numbing the pain right now and just doing the drugs right now and feeling better for a little while, and then having a lifetime of guilt and shame and remorse, regret, all of the negative that comes from it, if I just deal with that negativity right now for a few moments, for a few days, whatever it may be, I have a lifetime of pride and happiness.
If you just pull back to where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I would much rather deal with a little bit of the negativity and then have all of the positive for an extended period of time after that. You know what I mean?
So tell people again how they can get a hold of you.
My name again is Johnny Long, and I'm on Facebook. And you can also look up my group. It's called Johnny's Journey: The Road to Recovery. And like I said, we're just here to show one another support. There's nothing that it doesn't cost anything. All it is a little bit of your time. If you want to pop in and see how we're doing or what we're doing, even if you choose to leave the group, I just suggest taking a look at it, because we really want to do what's right. We really want to help people. And it's been the most positive experience that I've ever had with a group of people in recovery. I have a little question answer time on there. I try to do it, every week or so. That just let them know, hey, I'm Johnny and I'm an open book. If you have a question, let me know. And I've had parents reach out and say, hey, my kid's an addict. My kid you've sold my kid drugs or whatever it may be. And it's great because it gives us an open forum. People ask me questions. Well, what are warning signs? What do I know? How do I know if they're on drugs? Because I hear all the time, you don't look like a drug addict. Guess what? We all look the same, or we don't all look the same.
You're not going to always notice what a drug addict looks like.
Not at all.
And
No.
especially some of the pharmaceuticals and that kind of stuff as
Absolutely.
well. So again, you guys, Johnny Long, a recovering drug addict, clean for
117 days today.
and he's got his ankle bracelet on today, and we want to thank his parole officer for giving him permission to come here and be at the car wash. And we want to thank At the Car Wash for sponsoring shows like this that I think matter more than a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? This is important stuff. And I want to go have coffee with you when you can get permission to get out of your house again. Okay.
Sounds good. You just let me know. I'm ready.
Okay. No, I want to do that. I want to keep in touch with you because I like who you are and I like what you're doing. Okay, so this afternoon at noon, we're going to be down at the Blue Valley Bistro, which used to be Cresswell Coffee in Cresswell. In fact, there's Seth on here right now with Seth Clark. And I don't know what they have planned for me today. I always just let them do it. And then my son is here from Montana, so he and my wife are going to meet me after the show. We're going to have lunch down there, so that'll be kind of fun to have lunch with my kid. And what else is going on this week? Come to Blue Valley Bistro for that coffee. Yeah, I need my coffee.
Seth, I might have to stop by. I actually live in Cresswell, technically. So.
Oh, do you seriously?
Yeah.
Well, if you, just run by real fast and say hi to Seth.
Absolutely.
Because they have really good coffee and really good food as well.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, thank you. Share this on your page because here's the deal. You don't know who's in your life that's covering up their addiction. And you don't know who he might be able to touch in a way that you can't. So by posting it, I have this assignment editor who's just kind of in the universe out there, and he tends to bring people to my page that you never know how they get there. And so if you put that on your page, he can do the same thing for you. Hi, Rick. I was watching the Facebook Live. Okay, Jeremy, I will get to you. I think, anyway, so people are already commenting. So again, Johnny Long on Facebook. Thanks, dude.
Absolutely.
You're a
man.
stud.
Thank you very much.
I'm excited for you
Yeah.
and people.
Anytime I can help spread the word, I'd love to do it. Anybody else who might have any questions or anything that I can answer, if you want to do interviews, whatever I can do, I just want to show support. Because I know that it's not easy. It's almost impossible on your own, but it's really, really hard even with other people. So let's just team up and let's fight the struggle together. I'm here to help if I can in any way. And my number is posted on my group as well. I post it all the time. So if you need somebody to call, somebody to talk to, don't call the guy with the bag, call the guy with a heart. I would much rather talk you through the hard times than help you get through good stuff. So.
That should be your tagline.
Right.
Johnny Long, don't call the guy with the bag, call the guy with the heart.
Right.
Okay, I can't say it any better than that. All right, see you guys later. Thanks
Thanks
again,
a lot,
Johnny. All right, bye, guys.